Hello, my name is Tavisha Doshi, and welcome to Week 1 of Bit by Bit Coding's Intermediate Web Development course. Today, we're going to build a fun website for a lemonade stand. We will start in code.org's web lab. When signing up for code.org, make sure to set your age as 13 or up to be able to use the web lab. You can name the project whatever you want. I will name it Web Dev Week 1. We will work with two files. One is index.html, where you can create the structure and content of the website, such as titles, bullet points, and buttons. The other file is style.css, where you can create the look of the website, such as background color and font sizes. Let's start coding. This tells the browser that this is an HTML file. The HTML tag wraps the whole web page, and this tells the browser that the page is in English. Let's close the HTML tag as well. To do that, add a slash in front of its name. By closing the HTML tag, it marks the end of our web page. I like to close the tags before working so that I don't forget later on, and I can also click this refresh button to show you our progress. Let's start with the head tag, which contains info that helps the browser process and display the page. Users cannot see this information on the page. Now we can use special characters like emojis. This makes our web page look good on phones and tablets. The title tag helps you style the text on the browser tab. We will call it Lemonade Stand. Make sure to close the title tag. Now we will link the CSS file to the page. And finally, let's close the head tag. Now, let's work on the body of our site. A cool feature that we can add to our website is a dark mode button. For this project, we will have the original colors of the website be a bland white, but that's because when you click the dark mode button, it will transform the website into pretty colors. First, let's start by creating a dark theme mode wrapper. This makes a checkbox that can be checked or unchecked, but we want it hidden for this project. This wraps all the content in the middle of the div tags so that the dark theme can affect everything at once. The for attribute connects the moon emoji to the hidden checkbox. We have created the dark theme button, but without the CSS styling code, the button does not change anything right now. Now let's make the topmost content of the website. The header tag creates the top section of our website. The hero section in web design is a container for our main headline area. The H1 tag creates the title of our web page. You can call your lemonade stand whatever you want. I want to call it Sunny Sips Lemonade Stand. The P tag creates a paragraph. Let's write, fresh lemonade, sunshine in a cup. Now close the P tag. Close the div tag and the header tag. Now we can create the main part of our website. Let's start with the About Us section. Create a section and have its ID and class set to About. The H2 tag creates a subheading. Let's call our subheading About Us. In the About Us section, we can create a short intro paragraph about the stand using P tags. This is what I wanted to add for our About Us section. We're done with the About Us section. Now, let's create a menu for our lemonade stand. Start by using the section tag and setting the ID and class as menu. Use H2 tags to create a subheading for our menu section. Use the UL tag to create an unordered list and set the class as menu-grid. You can add anything you want to your menu. Use the li tag to create your first menu item. To make your item name appear as a third level heading, use the H3 tag. The first thing I want to add to the menu is Classic Lemon. Now close the H3 tag. The span tag lets us create an inline text underneath our drink name to hold our price. Set the class as price. I want to set the price to $2.50. Now close the span and li tags. Following this same formatting, add as many drinks to your menu. The drinks I've added are Strawberry Splash, Mango Tango, and Watermelon Wave. Now close your list and your menu section. For our third section on the website, let's create a Contact Us using the section tag and setting ID and class to Contact. Title the subheading of our section as Contact Us. For our Contact Us section, we want to use a form tag to create a form where the users can submit information. The label tag is used to create a label for an input field. The for makes sure that the label refers to the input field with the same ID. We will have the first input ask for a name. Now we create the input field, where the user can create information about the input tag. Now we create the input field, where the user can create information using the input tag. The type of input will be text. The ID should match what we put in the label tag, in this case, name. We will also make this input required so that the user cannot submit the form without this field. Using the label tag, we will make an input for the user's email. We will have the label refer to the input field with the ID email. Now, we create the email input field. This input type will be an email. The ID will match the label tag. We will make this field required as well. Now, let's allow the user to submit a message. Let's create the label and have it refer to an ID named message. This time, instead of an input tag, we will use a text area tag with ID matching the label tag. We will set the rows as 4, making the box 4 lines tall. This field will also be required. Finally, let's close the text area tag. Now, we need to make the submit button for our form. We start with the button tag and set the type as submit and the class as btn. We will label our button send. Now close the button tag. Close the form tag. And now we're done with the Contact Us section. For our final section on the web page, let's create an FAQ section. Set the ID and class as FAQ. Make the subheading for the section titled as FAQ. The details tag can create a collapsible section that users can expand or collapse. Using the summary tag, let's label this detail as our first FAQ question. Now close the summary tag. The content that will be collapsible inside this detail will be our answer to the FAQ question. We will use the P tag and write our answer. We will close our P tag and also our details tag. Following the same formatting, I've created two other questions and answers for our FAQ questions. Notice this here. In HTML, the ampersand symbol starts special code like ampersand code. To tell the browser that we just want to use the ampersand symbol, first type the symbol, then write amp, followed by a semicolon. Now close our FAQ section. We are now done with the main part of our website, so you can click outside of the main tag. We can create a footer or bottom section of our website using the footer tag. For our footer, I will use a P tag and type. Then I will close the P tag and our footer tag. We are done with our HTML file for our lemonade stand. Let's work on our CSS file now to make our dark theme toggle button work. This means when the theme toggle checkbox is checked, apply the styles to any wrapper element. Since we wrapped all our content in the HTML file, the whole page should be affected. I will set the background color of the whole page to a dark blue. For our CSS file, you can select any colors you want. Just make sure the text is readable. I will set the text color as a light yellow, which fits our lemonade stand. Now close the CSS rule for the whole web page. This CSS rule means that when the theme toggle checkbox is checked, apply the styles to any wrapped header element. The background color of the header will be a dark gray and the bottom border of the header will be a slightly lighter gray. This means when the theme toggle checkbox is checked, apply the styles to any wrapped H1 titles inside our header. We will set the text color to a bright lemonade yellow. This means when the theme toggle checkbox is checked, apply the styles to any wrapped P element inside our header. We will set the text color to a light gray. For our About Us section, when the theme toggle is checked, the background color of the About section becomes dark gray, and the left border becomes a bright yellow. This CSS rule affects our menu section, changing the background color to a dark gray and the left border to a bright yellow when the dark mode is on. In dark mode, the bullet points in our main menu section will have a slightly lighter gray background color, bright yellow border, and light yellow text color. Moving on to the Contact Us section, when the theme toggle is checked, the background color will turn a dark green and the left border will be a lime green. Over here, instead of making two separate rules, one for the two input fields, name and email, and the other for the message text area section, I've made a CSS rule that affects both together when the theme toggle is checked, using a comma. I've set the background color to black and the user inputted text to a light yellow, and the border color to a light gray. Now, to customize the send button in dark mode, I've made a rule that affects the wrap buttons. It changes the background color to a bright yellow and the text color to black. A cool feature for buttons is that you can change how it looks when you hover your mouse over it by adding a colon hover next to the word button. This CSS rule now changes this background color of the button to a darker yellow when your mouse hovers over it. Of course, this only works when the dark mode is on. Moving on to the last main section, the FAQ. When the theme toggle is checked, the background changes to a dark purple and the left border changes to a bright purple. Now to change each collapsible FAQ, we have the CSS rule affect wrapped detailed tags in the dark mode. I've changed the background color to be a slightly lighter purple, the border color to be a light purple, and the collapsible detail text color to be a bright yellow. This rule changes the summary text. That's the questions in the FAQ section. I've styled the text color to be a light purple when in dark mode. Now the last thing left to style in dark mode is the footer of our web page. I've set the background color to be a dark gray and the text color to be a bright yellow. We're done creating our website.